I want to share a very powerful quote with you before we begin. The greatest discovery of all time is that a person can change his life by changing his attitude. We often come across various types of people in our lives. Some people always complain about everything, blaming others for their problems. They say things like, I wish I had this thing, then my problem would be solved. Or if that person hadn't done this to me, then I wouldn't have any problems. They live their entire lives wrapped in these types of thoughts. If you also have this type of thinking, then my friend, you are responsible for 99% of the problems in your life. Let me explain to you why. Your way of thinking determines your actions, which shape your behavior. If you think positively and adopt a positive approach, your behavior will also be positive. You will face less trouble in life, and most of your problems will be solved automatically. On the other hand, if you start blaming others and circumstances for all your problems, then you're entirely wrong. As sometimes there may be some truth to it, but still, you should never let your thinking reach a point where you totally depend on others for your happiness and success. You are solely responsible for creating your own happiness. Even though sometimes we feel helpless and believe that our lives are controlled by others, that's actually not true. If you look closely at the lives of successful people, you'll find that none of them achieved success by blaming others. Every successful person faced many challenges, but instead of complaining, they focused on solving those problems. That's what separates successful people from others. They choose to solve their problems rather than complain about them. It's completely up to you whether you want to keep complaining about everything and live a defeated life, or you want to stand up and take responsibility for your own life. Friends, I understand that it's not easy to change your thinking overnight, but it's essential if you want to achieve something in life. You can do this with practice. So I want you to start practicing this now. Whenever you notice that you're blaming others for your problems, stop and think about it from their perspective. Ask yourself why they did what they did and what caused them to behave that way. Trust me, doing this alone will change your perspective and you'll start seeing progress in your life. Remember, if you want to change your life, you must first change your thinking. Embrace a positive mindset, take responsibility for your actions, and focus on solutions instead of dwelling in problems. With this approach, you'll see a positive change in your life. Now let me share a story that illustrates this concept. Once upon a time, there was a young man named Adef who lived in a village. Despite being strong and hardworking, he lagged behind everyone in the village in terms of wealth. He used to work in the fields from morning till evening, but his income was barely enough to sustain him. One day, while working in the fields, he saw an old man taking out pieces of gold from the ground. Surprised, Adil went to the old man and asked him how he could earn such a large amount of money by just digging in the soil. The old man explained that this land belonged to his father, who had taught him that under this piece of land lay a vast treasure. He showed Atif the exact spot and said that if he worked hard, Atif could also become wealthy. After hearing this, Atif left his work and rushed to dig at the spot indicated by the old man. But no matter how much he dug, he couldn't find anything valuable. Disappointed and upset, Atif returned home and complained to his wife that although he had worked hard, he couldn't find any treasure. Instead of comforting him, his wife scolded him, said that if he really wanted to become rich, he shouldn't waste his time digging holes in the ground like a madman. Instead, he should focus on his existing work and try to improve it. She advised him that if he did his work properly and gave it his full attention, there was a good chance that his income would increase. Atif listened to his wife's advice and decided to put it into practice. From that day on, he began working in the fields with renewed dedication and focus. His crops flourished and brought him a bountiful harvest. As his crops yielded more, his income also increased. Soon he became one of the wealthiest farmers in the village. The story teaches us that if we constantly blame others or external factors for our failures, we will never succeed in life. Instead, we should learn to accept our situation and strive to make the best of it. Only then can we hope to achieve something great in life. Sometimes we complain that we don't have enough skills, and we don't learn to enhance our existing skills. We lament the lack of opportunities around us without realizing that we can create our own opportunities. This story serves as a reminder to always look for opportunities within ourselves and our current circumstances. Don't wait for everything to become perfect because perfection doesn't exist. Instead, learn to work with whatever you have and trust in your abilities. Friends, I know that putting these words into practice can be challenging, especially in today's world where negativity seems to be everywhere. There are numerous instances of fraud and cheating. However, I urge you to stay away from these negative influences and hold on to these principles. When you encounter any problem in life, analyze it carefully and ask yourself, is it really a problem, or have I created this problem in my mind? Many times we tend to magnify small issues in our minds, causing ourselves unnecessary stress and anxiety. But in reality, these problems are not as big as we imagine them to be. When you truly face difficulties in life, you'll come to realize the difference between real problems and those you create in your mind. Real problems will always be accompanied by tension and worry. You might even shed tears when you encounter them, but they will always carry a sense of seriousness. On the other hand, the problems you create in your mind will cause you to feel restless and anxious without any valid reason. You'll toss and turn in bed at night over imagined issues that may or may not happen. These are the fake problems we create ourselves. The biggest enemy of humans is not failure, but giving up after failing. Every human faces failures in life, and those who learn from their failures and keep moving forward achieve great success. Those who dwell on their failures and refuse to move on often end up in depression. Friends, you should never let your mind create problems for you. Stay calm and face any challenge that comes your way. Keep trying again and again until you find a solution. Never give up in the face of failure. Instead, pick yourself up and start again. If you follow these steps, you will never have any reason to complain about anything. Your mind will always be at peace. You'll live a happy life. Remember, if you want to be successful in life, you must start now. Procrastination is the biggest enemy of success. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to achieve your goals. So take action today and never look back. If you liked the story and the lessons shared in this video, please don't forget to hit the like button and share it with your friends and family. If you haven't already, subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and see you soon in the next video. Remember, if you want to be successful in life, you must start now. Procrastination is the biggest enemy of success. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to achieve your goals. So take action today and never look back.